The topic we're talking about this morning is how to actually prepare your child when they do get ready to have a smartphone. I know it's been a discussion in my house for years. My child is not there yet, but she's been asking for a phone for quite a few number of years. And today I interviewed Nate Webb. He's the same interview I had last week when we talked about the issues of bullying in schools. And he talks a lot about how to prepare your child for having a smartphone because of everything that's available on the internet. And once they have that smartphone in their hand, all of that is at their fingertips.
When kids first get phones, it's usually just to be able to communicate with their family because they're doing activities. That 6 to 10 year mark where they're starting to do sports, starting to do activities, and like, I need to call mom and dad. And so we get them a phone so they can call us, so they can say, hey, come pick me up. That has evolved to throwing them a supercomputer filled with predators, pedophiles, and pornography, and just saying good luck, have fun. And so I speak in schools quite often about this, and it ties right into the bullying aspect, because these smartphones, these supercomputers within the palms of their hands, super addictive, right? They get the dopamine rush every time they get that notification ding, and they want more and want more on that. When they're on the internet, when they're with everyone else, when they see millions of other people, that they compare everything to their life, and they start thinking they're not good enough, they're too fat, they're too slow, they're too poor, they're not good enough. And that then becomes a magnifying glass for whatever emotions are already inside of them. See, I don't think social media in and of itself is evil. I think it's a magnifying glass. It is an amplifier for what is already inside of us. With kids, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of angst. There's a lot of nervous, and that comes out and they lash out at each other. And so instead of asking us, when can I get my kid a smartphone? Because they're going to get one someday. Don't get me wrong. Technology is not going anywhere. It's only going to advance. And so the question is not really, when do I get my kid a smartphone? It's, how can I prepare my kid for the day that they get that smartphone? There is a book on Amazon called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. It is a super, super child-friendly way to talk about pornography. It's a wonderful book, and it teaches what pornography is. It only says the word pornography once. It talks about what bad pictures are, and it says the adult term for bad pictures is pornography.
Nate, really, all of those steps kind of go into the same realm of protecting your child's mental health. This isn't just for, to be strict or whatever. There's a bigger picture that you're hoping to achieve.
It's so much more than just being strict. And with that mental health aspect, social media and smartphones, they have been slowly but surely destroying our kids' self-esteem, and then slowly but surely convincing them that they're not enough, and then getting them addicted to their phones. And it's so many things are the direct result of smartphones. Did you know most doctors, they won't even start the conversation around ADHD until that kid has been on a week-long screen detox, because so many ADHD symptoms is congruent with screen dependency.
They go in line.
And so because their attention span is poo-poo. And these companies, these platforms, you guys know, they hire psychologists to help them engineer their platforms to hold the attention of your kids the longest, right? So I created a fake TikTok account and a fake Snapchat account, and I said I was 14. I didn't put my age for public view. Just when you sign up for your account, it asks your age, and I said I was 14. Let's see what it's going to send me. TikTok, the very first thing it showed me was pornography and cars. And on Snapchat, within the hour, I was being asked for nudes and I was being sent nudes. And what's even worse with Snapchat, just parents, just FYI, when your child opens a Snapchat account, it is by default public. And because it's public by default, they're on the Snapchat, there's a feature called your Snap Map. And on the Snap Map, you can see all public accounts in your area. So if a predator wanted to know what 14-year-old girls were in the area or what 14-year-old boys were in the area, All they'd have to do is go to their Snap Map, and it shows you down to the house number where everyone is. So you are protecting them from so much more when you are teaching them how to have a healthy relationship with their technology. You're protecting their mental health. You're literally protecting their physical health as well. Now, I do want to put this caveat out there. No amount of parental boundaries will compensate for lack of communication. If you don't talk to your kids about what they're seeing in their life, about what they're experiencing in their life, they're going to ninja right through your parental controls, because they're like, I can't talk to mom and dad about it. I know how to get past their controls, but what I see, well, I can't tell them about it. So some parents are like, oh, we don't talk about that stuff because I want them to be innocent, but they can't get on their phone past 10:30 p.m. because I went in on their iPhone and I put a setting on their screen time app, and they can't be on their phone past 10:30. And I'm like, okay, do you know that they're changing their time zone to China so that they can be on their phone for 14 more hours, Mom?
Like, it's easy to dismiss that.
Yeah, so talk with your kids. No amount of parental controls can compensate for just having a conversation with your kid in the first place.
So a lot of good information from Nate Webb. He's the same interview we talked with last week about bullying in schools, and something he's passionate about as well is preparing your child for the smartphone. Some of the things he really pointed out that make a lot of sense from a parent's perspective is protecting your child's mental and physical health, because once they have that smartphone in their hand, he pretty much referred to a smartphone as a supercomputer, and they have so much access to so much on the internet that's what you want to protect them from, and teach them beforehand of how they can protect themselves. I'm going to show you some of the ideas Nate actually suggested for smartphones for kids when they're first starting out, when they're in the younger years. The Gab phone, G-A-B-B phone, is something that doesn't have internet or social media, but you can have GPS tracking on it, so you know where your child is, and then the talking and texting, and a lot of options on there to keep those the phone numbers and the texting